Yes. Guess who's back? Y'all know what it is. It's Thursday up in this piece. Welcome, everyone. One and all. Welcome to Dayton University. I am your co-host, Professor Charles, along with my beautiful co-host to my immediate left there. Oh, she done froze up on me. Hey, Professor Brittany. It's all good. It's all good. We got to wait for her to come back in here, but it's all good. Welcome, everybody. We love you. Thank you for joining us on this new season. Yes, we are live. We are new season. This is season 3, I guess, for our podcast listeners. So we appreciate you. We love you. Thank you. Also, this is our I want to say 6th season with everybody since we've been doing the show. So we love y'all. We thank y'all so much. How y'all been? What's been going on? How's life? How's everything? How you maintaining? Waiting on Brittany. She is coming in. Let's see, where are my comments? Nope, don't want to show that. And there she is. Yo. All right. Of course, what kind of season premiere wouldn't be without technical difficulties? What's good, Brian? What's going on, Didi?
Okay, can you hear me?
There she is.
Okay, our internet is acting up. This is the beautiful part about Dayton University, where anything goes. So just to be transparent with you all, what we do beforehand, before starting at 7:30, our goal is to test each other's internet connection, test the video, test the picture. But guess what? As in life, things happen, but we make it work. That is why I'm so happy that I have a co-host, a co-professor that knows how to step in and fill in the gap. So salute to my co-host.
Yeah, you already know. I appreciate you.
Did we do our intro?
Yeah, we're gonna have to do it a little bit again, but okay. Once again, welcome to Dayton University. I'm your co-host, Professor Charles, along with
I'm Professor Brittany again.
All right, where we discuss the good,
the bad,
and the ugly
of all things dating and relationships.
Absolutely. Thank y'all, one and all. Listen, we got something in store for y'all today.
I really hope, Charles, that we have a page tomorrow. So I'm going to check at midnight to see where we end up on this internet of ours, on this social media platform of ours.
If any of y'all, I swear, if any of y'all report this, when I see you in the street, it's on.
It is on. The views expressed tonight are the views.
Oh my goodness.
Decriminalize of what we're going to discuss tonight.
Yeah, you were breaking it down over. Oh my gosh. My poor baby internet over there is going nuts. My poor thing.
I need to restart my router.
Oh my goodness. You do that, I'm gonna have to hold down the fort.
Yes. Say it again, Derry.
All right. Are we good? Somebody Ania said somebody already reported us. That I understand. Oh my gosh. Heck yeah. They like, nah, we can't even let y'all slide with this one. I'm gonna do my absolute best to rock out with this. So tonight. All right, we are talking about pay for play. That's what we're talking about tonight. We're going to talk about all the little intricacies about it. But we're really going to discuss paying for sex. We're going to just lay it out there plain. That's what we're going to do. We're laying it out plain. We want to hear y'all. We want to hear your opinions on it. So let's see. Start off with our first question. And this is for y'all. We want to hear y'all voice in the comments. Does paying for a date guarantee sex? I'll say it again. Does paying for a date guarantee sex? Go off in the comments right now. We want to see y'all just blow this up like crazy. Go off, yo, for real. We want to hear it because it's something that we all kind of deal with, but we all kind of, we don't want to broach this topic. But tonight, we're going to broach it. We're going to talk about it. We're going to get into it. Over the last, I want to say 6, maybe 7 years, we've become a little less disgusted, I would say, by the thought of paying for sex workers, prostitution, those sorts of things. And people have, been doing it since forever. Right? So here's the thing. We're talking about the stigma that's attached to it, right? Insane. If you think about it, how do we even get to the point where that was such a bad thing? Where someone confronts another person and says, hey, I would like this from you. I am willing to pay for this action. Is that okay? Yes or no? Yes, indeed. Yes, absolutely. It's the oldest profession in the book. And somehow it got thrown all out and made to be some sort of just horrible thing. But it's all right. It's all right. I mean, because we look at it now. I mean, look at what we have now. We have OnlyFans. We have people who upload their own videos up to porn sites and they get paid off of it. We have escort websites. We have an entire city in the United States where that is absolutely completely legal. So how hard do we have to keep going with this notion of that paying for sex is a bad thing? So still waiting on Brittany to get back on. She's having some internet issues, but it's all right. It's all right. Look, we live, man. This is what we do. It is what it is. All right. Man. Okay, so here's another question, because I see you guys were saying no in the comments that paying for a date doesn't guarantee sex, but give you the flip side of it. Does it help get to that point? That's the question. Does it help to get to that point? I want to hear y'all. All right, Coach said, not ever. I don't even go to strip clubs. Man, I get it. I absolutely get that. It was a time in my life where I was going to strip clubs, but it was just going because the fellas was going. I was in a relationship at the time. So it was just like, whatever. It was something to do until I go home to my lady at the time. And I never really saw the appeal of strip clubs. But, everybody has to work. Everybody got to work. Everybody got to do something. Not everybody is built for, getting into like Fortune 500 companies or somebody just, they feel like this is a profession where They have creative freedom. They have financial freedom. And it gives them a way to, like I said, make money, stay in shape. It's all sorts of reasons. It could be, they might have just, needed to help out a little something, so they needed some extra cash. Y'all seen y'all favorite people from around the way down at the strip clubs. So let's see what the Nia say. And Nia says it can create an expectation. So in that regard, it gets to that point. Agree. I absolutely agree. We work hard. Everybody works hard. Everybody works for this. Okay, what else you got to say? Society has made women's bodies a commodity, so women capitalize off of that. Absolutely, it's we it's such a double-edged sword when it comes to that. On one hand, like you said, Ania, we objectify women's bodies and we give them, autonomy, and we give them, all the praise for having the body, and we give them platforms in which to use it, but in the same breath we demonize them for doing so. And what's the line? The line has always been sex. That has always been the line. Why? It's something that human beings have been doing for eons. And somehow, some way, we've all done something in order to get sex. And we all pay in a certain way. We got a lot of feedback from our daters across our social media platforms, man. And Professor Brittany, man, she conducted some amazing interviews with some people who were willing to actually answer the questions, like people who have actually paid for sex. And when she comes in, we're going to get into it. Let's see. All right, so here's the dating criteria for men going into the idea of paying for sex. You need a willing participant, a scheduled date, minimal engagement, no emotional attachment, no follow-up, no minimum cost, and maximum sexual experience. Like, when you hear that, like, it sounds really good, right? It sounds like a good idea. It sounds like a good reason to do that, especially from a man's perspective. Like, we we want sex. Men want sex. A lot of men want a lot of sex without a lot of other stuff they have to go through, which will have to be going on dates. They will have to go through having phone conversations and getting to know the person, and trying to woo them to get to them the point to have sex, when they can just be like, you know what, all that is cool, but what I want right now is to have some sex. So maybe if I pay a certain amount of money for sex, I can get that and I can go on about my day. It's an easy peasy conversation. It's an easy peasy transaction. And that's from a man's perspective. And this is what we've seen across the polls that we've been getting, the ads that we've been getting from the polls. When it comes to women, it's all about the money by any means necessary and financial security. Like, we are doing, I really wish Brittany was here, because I want her to come at it from that perspective. So I'm going to put that one part on hold, and I'm going to read some of y'all comments. Let's see. Robert, you said, if you were good with your hands, you will be encouraged to make money with your hands. Some may feel sex is their skill and they work that skill, and most wouldn't mind paying for a good service. You ain't never never lie. Like that right there is the whole idea of what we're talking about tonight. If you're good at something, why not get paid for it? Why are you demonized for getting paid for doing something that you're good at?
Am I back?
And welcome back, Professor Brittany. How are you?
No,
You all right?
I'm so over technology. I wish we were in an in-person classroom
Yes.
because technology has let me down today.
Yes.
My internet provider has let me down today.
Oh my goodness.
I'm not going to say their name because they're not cutting me a check. I'm actually cutting them a check. So let's keep it moving. I've been watching. Here's the thing.
All right.
Here's the thing, y'all. Wow. When we set up these scenarios, right? When we set up these scenarios, the goal for here and now in Dating University is to change your way of thinking or to get you to take a realistic approach to dating. So as Charles was talking about, from a man's standpoint, let's examine that. Let's put our finger on that topic and let's examine what that would look like. Okay? So willing participant. Okay.
Easy.
You want a day, a time, and a place. Okay, fair enough. Minimal engagement. I don't have to talk to this person. I don't have to ask them how their day is going. All I have to say is good morning, beautiful, and we're good.
Right.
No strings attached. I don't want a relationship. I don't even want to give you any shred of emotion. There are no feelings involved at all. I want to go to the most cost-effective location. So I'm not spending a lot of money. I want to spend as little time there as possible as well. My goal is to meet said person and I should be guaranteed sex at the end of this. You tell me out there, daters, Charles, if you want to tell me what kind of arrangement does that look like? Putting in minimum effort, but hoping to gain guaranteed maximum output. Guaranteed. The keyword is guaranteed.
It's two different things. It's two different things. One, because a lot of the times when we talk about relationships, we talk about dating, and we talk about the effort that people put into actual dating or the lack of effort that they put into dating to get what they want, right? Men and women or men and men, whatever your preference is, see somebody attractive. They want this person. They want this person sexually. So what do? They approach them. They try to get them to talk to them. They try to exchange numbers. They go out on dates. Or whatever. And the goal is, they want sex, right? That's the goal. But if they're not putting in the effort for what they think that the other person wants, then the other person is not going to be down for it because they're like, no, you're not putting in no effort. So why am I going to give you sex?
Right.
That's the first. That's the first. The second track is what we're talking about now. An arranged, consensual contract between two parties where funds are exchanged for a sexual act. Now, if you look at now, if we can look at this from two different angles. We look at that from two different angles. The way I just described that, it sounds like a business, right? It sounds like a Fortune 500 company. But in the hood, we call it tricking. Oh, she a hog. Or you a John. Or you can't get no real pussy, so you out here buying pussy.
I mean, Charles, let's be real. It is the ideal setup for a sex worker. That is what said person is looking for. And absolutely. I need these people in this position that want minimal engagement, that want minimum input with guaranteed maximum output to understand that's what it is. You really think that taking a person on a quote unquote cheap date putting in little to no effort is guaranteeing you good porn star hanging from the chandelier sex? Are you delusional? Like, really, are you delusional? Like, for you to have this entitlement to something that you didn't even earn is beside me. And I'm just trying to understand where their logic comes from. That's all that we're here tonight to discuss.
That logic is based on experience. I'm gonna be honest with you. That logic is based on experience. There had to have been a time where the minimum effort got that man or that woman exactly what they wanted. They feel like they can try that same tactic again. And all you do is play the odds. That's all you're doing.
And that's why you're playing the odds.
People. That's why you go on multiple dates. That's why you have, say all these other avenues of where you can reach out and talk to people and get involved with these people.
Devil's advocate, Charles.
Talk to me.
Would you want to play the odds or do you want to play the guaranteed way? Playing the odds is expensive. Playing the odds gets a lot of bruised egos involved. Playing the odds is something that is high risk, sometimes reward. But wouldn't you want guaranteed reward?
I mean,
where you get to call the shots, you get to determine the odds.
Ideally, yes. Ideally, yes.
But there's a stigma with that approach that I don't understand. There's a stigma with paying for what you want when it comes down to sex, but I don't understand. Okay, people say it's illegal. So are drugs, but people still buy them and they openly buy them and they openly admit to buying them. So why is it that when it comes to another illegal thing, people are they're very shy, very coy, very timid?
Because it's okay. Here in America, we look at sex as so taboo. We look at it as so like sacred. You know what I'm saying? Like it should be, like, oh, what you do behind closed doors is your business. We should not be able to see what you do. Like, but without it, we won't have kids. Kids won't have kids. Kids won't have kids. Kids won't have kids. These are things.
Here's the thing. I'm reading the comments. So
going off and I love it.
Coach Said is saying there's no guarantee. Let me break it down for you. When you have a man or a woman that goes on a date with anybody, sex is not guaranteed, whether or not that person believes it or not. There are some people that feel as though if they invest in a date, that sex is guaranteed. There are some individuals that think that way. Now, whether or not they get said sex, they're playing the odds. When it comes to paying for a good or service, there should be a guarantee that you get said service. If you pay somebody $40, $60, $80, $100, there's a guarantee that you're getting sex.
Right.
There's a guarantee.
Right. 100%. 100%.
Now, for the people that I have, and we'll get to that I have talked to and polled, they're not paying anybody up front. So there's a guarantee that something is going to go down. If you go that route, something's going to go down. As opposed to may the odds be in your favor approach of going on this date and then paying and then feeling entitled to somebody else's body. That's non-consent right there. So you mean to tell me somebody can go on a date and because they pay, they're supposed to gain sex from that without even telling the other person, oh, by the way, sex is a part of this, right? But when do they bring that up? I'm thinking about the timing, and I want all of my daters, and Charles, I even want you to think about this. When would someone on a date mention the after? When is the most convenient time that people wait to bring up what they're doing after or what they plan to do after. When that card is
When it's
swiped.
swiped. Yeah. When the card is
Has
swiped.
anyone
Yeah.
ever had somebody sit down and they get to the dinner table? They they got their menus. Hey, so what are we doing after? No. In all of my years and experiences of dating, I am asked when they swipe that card. Oh, so what's your move for after? We got any plans for after? I've had men book hotel rooms and didn't even tell me until he was paying for the check. Like, oh, when we get to the hotel, and I'm like, wait a minute, whoa, you booked the room? And he said, yeah.
I'm trying to tell you. I am trying to tell you. There is a precedent. There has been experience. That is where the logic comes from. That logic comes from experience. There has been a time where the minimum effort got them the maximum result, and that creates a psychology.
No, Charles, no, you're right. But I guess for me, the term maximum, success, that's relative, because for some people, I guess their maximum is just getting something. But then when you have that conversation with people that want that maximum, their laundry list of demands of what they want behind closed doors is astonishing for what they're giving. You want to bring in extra people. You want lack of protection. You want me to have my throat open, my eyes open, my ears open, my nostrils open. You want my legs open. You want my butthole open. You want every single possible hole open. But you barely opened your wallet. You barely can open your mouth to communicate to me. You can barely open your eyes to see the BS that you're giving me. Are you insane? You better get on that website.
Oh, when's the DU meet and greet? Post COVID ish, maybe.
We'll discuss that in our planning meetings, Coach said. But we definitely need to have one. If we can have a COVID friendly and safe one, we would love that. But we will have to definitely plan and get back to you.
Absolutely. Okay, so Rabiz, you coming in. Some don't want to think they're paying for sex in quotations, because it means they can't get sex on their own merit. But paying for dates and buying her bundles and gas money is equivalent to leaving 40 on a dresser. That's exactly the freaking point. That is exactly the point. Oh my gosh. Because I'm blown away by this comment, because it's kind of hard to expound on something that was just so eloquently articulated.
No,
but I mean, we have to. We have to. There's a stigma on that. You know what I'm saying? It goes back to everybody remembers Players Club. And what was your name in the club? I forgot. The one that was
Don't ask me, because I don't know.
But he was always in there, and he didn't have the confidence. He didn't feel he had the look, so he tried to do as much as he can by giving the money in order to try to win the affection. This is what we do, and honestly, it's not too much that us men can actually do besides show our money and attention.
You know what?
That's it. We want the sex, right? We want the sex, but we know there is a wall in between the hello, my name is, and what are we having for breakfast? There is a wall there, and what we all know is we have to spend money somehow in order to some fashion, some sort of way, in order to gain favor. And we also know that there's a time frame that has to be met. We don't know what that time frame is. And a lot of us, when it comes to it, we're not bold enough to just straight up ask, look, I just want to have sex with you. Because that cuts the odds even more in half of what this already is. We're already playing with we're not even playing with house money when we approach y'all.
You know what I need? You
You
know
feel
what I'm
me?
going to propose, and people
Talk
are
to me.
going to like this, but I feel like this is the only way we can get past those initial first, second date expectations for sex because somebody opens a wallet. Go Dutch, and let me tell you why. Let me tell you why.
Y'all ain't with that. Y'all
Let me
ain't
let
with
me, no, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why. Let me tell you what that will happen. Let me tell you what will happen. A man leads with money, sure. Outside of leading with money, what else do you have? Okay. So if a man goes into it paying for his own date, now he has to bring the intangibles. Are you courteous? Are you chivalrous? Can you hold a conversation? Are you emotionally intelligent? Are you self-aware? That's the man side. Those things will have to come out because he can no longer lean and depend on his finances. Coming in
Exactly.
from a woman's standpoint, there are some women, and I will admit, I have done this, that have been bored in the house and wanted to go out with said person, even though I did not feel them 100%. Okay, I'm guilty of that.
Fellas, are y'all listening?
But
Are
I am
y'all
more
listening? This
careful.
fucking happened.
I am more careful to invest my money into places and people that are meaningful to me. So I'm not going to go out with just any old body if I'm investing my own money and I'm getting no return from it. So from both ends, we can both benefit if on the first date we go and we pay our own way just to make sure that I like this person, I can vibe with them, they have conversation, they can afford to eat out with me. And then at the end of that day, if there is chemistry, if there is connection, talk about a second date and then lay out your financial expectations then and there. The man can say, you know what, I'm more comfortable paying. And if there's a connection from me, I'll say, you know what, okay, I'm feeling you. I'll come. That's what I think. It's not
Honestly,
popular. It's not popular,
right,
but it takes some stuff off the table.
it takes a lot of stuff off the table, and it makes it that much simpler. You know where the expectations are. You know where each of you stand, and you can move forward. Either you move forward together or you move forward separately.
Right. And I
Because
think
it's not for everybody. There are going to be people who don't want to go Dutch. There's going to be somebody who insists on paying, and there's going to be someone who insists on being paid for.
But here's my thing. If a man is insistent on paying, I understand that. But my question, if I am offering to go Dutch for that first date and I explain why, my mother has always taught me, Brett, and I'll tell this story, Brett, always carry your own finances
Facts.
because with some men, paying equates to power and ownership and dominion over what is his. And if he pays for everything, he may expect something from you. I went on a date with a guy in DC to this soul food restaurant. And I remember us, we vibed and we clicked on the phone. So I drove from Baltimore to DC to have dinner with him. We're eating dinner. No way, shape, or form are we talking about sex at all. At all. We are vibing so much that I can't wait to go on a second date with this man. He takes the check, he pays the check. He says, I got this. I offer to pay the tip. I got this. He pays everything. When the check goes into that waitress's hand, his next question, what's the move for after? What kind of panties are you wearing? And I'm taken aback by that. And I said, who said I was going to your house after? Like, I'm going home. I work tomorrow. And he sucked his teeth and he said, you mean to tell me I spent $90.12 and you not giving me none? And I remember the words of my mother. Thank the Lord I took cash out. I said, how much was the meal? And he told me $90.12. I took out $100. I gave it to him and I said, keep the change. And I walked out. There is no way, shape, or form I'm ever going to be in a position where a man thinks that because he pays for a date. And my thing is this, it wasn't even like you were balling for real. $90? $90. And from that $90, I'm supposed to go back with you to your place and engage in sexual activity with you for $90? After I drove from Baltimore to DC, I spent probably $40 in gas. Are you insane? So my return on investment, and he was shaped like the penguin. So I already knew that he was going to have mid to low grade ding-a-ling, It was probably going to be the size of that shrimp cocktail that I had for my appetizer, and he was going to last as long as it took for me to walk from his bedroom door to his probably bed on the floor. I'm not doing that. Hire someone, because in that scenario, what he could have done was taken that $90, contacted an online site that offers that, and for $90 he could have gotten an afternoon delight, a hand job, he could have got some anal, he could have got some got throat action, some gawk 2 million, and he could have got a conversation. Don't play with me.
And then nothing, I mean, and no other responsibilities, or and you're not feeling oh God, I
No
can't
responsibility.
Even believe, I can't even believe you're say that out of my mouth. You're not feeling cheated out of what you spent. But again, we put a negative connotation on the sex. I mean, and
why?
I don't. Again, like I said in the beginning, like when you were having your technical difficulty, like over the last 6-7 years, that stigma has lessened and lessened. Look at all the sites that are popping up, especially OnlyFans. OnlyFans was popping.
Yeah, there are plenty of sites, but people admitting to be on those sites, Charles, is the problem. You have people that will smoke blunts on live, that will talk about all the drugs that they do, but there are very few people that say, "Yeah, I pay for some pussy." I pay for
because again, like I said, it goes to the machismo code of men.
Really?
Where it's just like, damn, you can't pull no chick, like you can't pull it, like
but
you can't.
But that's
you ain't got no gas, like you ain't got no game. Like
I get that, but that's the pessimistic side. Instead of looking at the glass half empty, look at it half full. Guess what? Look at this. Check this out. Check this out. You have a submissive woman that will give into any of your fantasies as long as you pay her price. You do not have to engage with her, so you don't have to know her favorite color. You don't even have to know her name. You don't have to ask her how her day was. You don't have to care. You get in, she will treat you like the king that you are. She will give into all of your demands. And then when you get what you got and you're good, you do the transaction, you leave, and guess what? You never talk to that person again unless you hit them back up for another service.
That's it.
It is so easy. You can go to bed at night, hashu. You can text as many other women as you want. Good night, queen. Good night, Nubian guy. You can do your nightly routine, and you can wake up, and it's a new day. It's a new opportunity. What an ego stroke. You have the power. You have the complete and absolute power to get the experience that you want, and you will not be let down.
But again, it's one of those double-edged swords. Like, yes, you get the sexual gratification without the interaction. Let's just go ahead. Let's just call it that. Where you get the sexual gratification without the interaction. But somewhere, deep down, you are craving the companionship. You're craving the witty banter, the inside jokes, the light touches, everything. But a lot of people don't think that way when it comes to that, because we've been conditioned to think that it's such a bad thing. Right? So how do we? And I think you really opened up the conversation and opened up the worldview of it when you broke it down, how you broke it down. And it is greatly appreciated. Like, and if more people think this way, then a lot less people will be hurt, because then you will have people who are looking for relationships, who will find relationships. You will get people who are looking for sex to find sex.
And I mean, let's be real and let's look at the reasons why people may hire a sex worker, and let's debunk some myths, because the number one thing that people assume about people that pay for sex workers is that they're desperate.
that right there.
That is probably the farthest from the truth. It could be a factor, sure, for some, but that's not the blanket overall reason why people are doing this. Men are doing
somebody who's truly busy. It could be an entrepreneur that has to fly across the country 6-7 days out of the week. You know, you really don't have time to put into it a really committed relationship, but you need to get your rocks off.
Or there may be issues.
Go ahead.
There may be issues at home where you have unfulfilled fantasies that your partner just will not budge on. For example, there are men that may enjoy, anal play. And you already know the stigma in the African American community about a man that wants to explore butt play.
Right.
We're already calling him homosexual. So in paying for a sex worker, you're paying not only for an experience, but you're paying for discretion. You're paying for acceptance. You're paying for an overall experience where somebody creates a safe space for you to be whoever you want to be and get whatever you want. It is such a humbling and liberating experience for someone that is not getting sexually pleased at home. That's one of the reasons why they may go to a sex worker. Like you said, Charles, a traveling entrepreneur that is not sedentary and needs just that satisfaction on a physical level. There could be someone where they have a certain fetish that they can't get from anyone else. For example, talking to someone that I interviewed, and thank you to that person, they were really interested in a certain race of woman that they were not attracting any other way. So the only way that he could get that race of woman is if he paid for it. And he accepted that. He embraced that. He didn't go on a website to coerce a woman of that race saying, hey, I'm looking for a relationship. Let me read her profile and spit it back out to her word for word so that I get her attention. Hey, I am John, and I am looking for intimacy on another level. I am looking for a whole new world and a whole new love. Like, no, he did what he had to do to get what he wanted, and he had a great experience. His desire was fulfilled, and he could move on.
Yeah.
The process was seamless.
With as minimal damage as humanly possible.
Minimal damage. You have that confidentiality. You have that discretion. And something also interesting, like we can't leave the women out. Women are hiring sex workers too.
Hell yeah. I've been reading about this since Zane books.
But another misconception, Charles, is that people think that paying for play is just for men. No, women do this too.
Y'all remember the Maintenance Man book?
No, but an interesting reason that really gave me the keys and made me laugh was there was one woman that said, I was tired of going on these dating sites and having these men be overly vocal about how good their sex was just to meet up with them. And their date was piss poor. They gave me, cheap fast food. They gave me the cheapest alcohol ever, but wanted me to act like I was one of these porn stars. And when we get down to it, I have in my mind this expectation that I'm getting my back blown out, and it's a jackhammer. It's a 2-minute jackhammer. So they wanted to get away from all these bad sexual experiences and invest in a guaranteed better experience. And from her perspective, she got what she paid for, and she enjoys the process, and she has no shame in it. And I love that. If you're going to go this route, I love people that are open about it. And I love people that accept and embrace their decision and don't have shame about it. In this life, you cannot be ashamed of what you do. Do what you do and do it boldly. Live life courageously. Live life out loud. Who cares what people think? It's none of their business.
Right. Like, you don't have to walk around with a sign that says, hey, I pay people for sex. Like, you don't have to. But if the conversation comes up and, and you don't have to, like you said, you don't have to feel ashamed about it. Like you can be your complete self. Like, because those conversations are the conversations that forward the progress, that opens up the eyes of somebody else who may be thinking of the same thing, but is scared to even do so. So you can be a pioneer in that way. I mean, hell, look at the show we did with the Porter family. I mean, come on now. We were talking about polygamy and polyamorous relationships. Like, So it was, yeah, it was a lot of misconceptions, that were floating around there. And to be honest, we got schooled on it. So my eyes are like even more open and more aware of,
Yeah.
those type of relationships. So it's the same thing with anybody who wants to pay for sex, or who is a sex worker. Like,
Right.
it
And
doesn't, what you eat should not make another person shit. Like,
right. And I'm reading one of these comments from Sad talking about people that can't converse are keeping sex workers in business. That's another myth.
it's another myth.
I
Like,
think the beauty, if
it's
for me,
about,
if
it's in it.
anything,
It's in it. Yeah, it's in there.
if anything, their conversation skills are top tier.
Because you
They're
got to be able to
conversing
talk to
enough.
anybody. You got to be talking
They're
to a
conversing
CEO, a
enough to get
candidate,
what they want.
a pastor. You got to be able to talk to all of these different type of people. It's like being. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. It's like being a vet versus being a doctor. You being a doctor, you only treat humans, right? But you a vet, you got to cure a cat, a dog, a frog, a bunny, a parakeet, a iguana. You know what I'm saying? You got to be able to know all of these things. That creates an entirely new subset of routines in your brain.
But I think the fact of the matter is they are conversing.
Yeah.
In fact, they converse more than the man or the woman that takes the other person out on the date expecting sex with minimal input. They are able to vocalize exactly what they want on their terms.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that is a beautiful thing. I want this, I want that, and I want that. That's all the conversation you need. They're not going to these pay for plays to talk about life and Socrates. They're going to get what they got to get and get out.
Some people like that though. Some people just need somebody to talk to. And especially people who have like performance anxiety, people who are just they did some people just the companionship, like you've seen it in some movies, you've seen it in real life, like the person just doesn't want actual sex, they just want to be in the company of
And that's another
person.
aspect, Charles. Yes.
But if
Okay.
you don't feel like you have the confidence and or the looks to pull somebody, again, that logic is based in experience, because that's what it is. If you tried to talk to someone and they look at you like, hell no, why would I even? Look at me, and then look at you again, and why are you even here? Those sorts of things tear down a human being, right? So when you get to this point, and this, again, I don't think it's a desperation thing, like somebody else has said in the comment. Like, I don't think it's a desperation thing. It's just it's a reaching out for human connection.
And you bring up another aspect of pay for play that is a common stereotype or something that we have to debunk. It's not just always sex.
Exactly.
And I had to learn that I've had to unlearn that pay for play just involves sex. There are people that will pay somebody for an hour or two just to sit and watch TV for companionship. Like, I mean, come on, let's be honest. There are some things that some of us would not do if the opportunity presented itself. If you had someone that you barely knew, let's say you met them on the first or second date, and they said, "Hey, can you come over? I just want to watch TV for like 3 or 4 hours." Are you gonna go?
Women ain't for that shit. Y'all know.
Are we gonna go? I'm trying to binge watch a show, and I just want to just have you come over. Now, here's the thing. This is how. This is how. But Charles, this is why. This is what experience has ruined that, because how many times, ladies, if you're in the comments, help a sister out. How many times have somebody invited you over just to binge watch a show, and before the credits come on, you see five fingers reaching down your shirt, boom. You feel someone got in your chin, boom. Like, they're not saying what they mean and mean what they say. So there may be an occasional innocent person that wants to actually watch TV, but based on the majority of the experiences that we have had, that puts a guard up. So for him to go pay somebody to do it, guess what? You're taking the responsibility off my hand, because guess what? He wasn't going to pay me. Let me ask. Hey, you want me to come over for how many hours? That'll be $212.69. He'd be like, you crazy. You crazy girl. Want to invite me over for free? Invite us over for free. Thinking you about to get some Jada Fire.
But it ain't free. Rent ain't free. Cable ain't free. Netflix ain't free. Food ain't free. Light bills ain't free.
That's his bill, not mine. Half the time they not even feed.
You know me. I'm just gonna give you the
half the time they come with some TV dinner, some kids' cuisine in the freezer.
Not the star-shaped chicken nuggets.
Yeah, the star-shaped chicken nuggets. He done already ate the little cornbread and chocolate bar, or the half-eaten Chinese food where he left only the broccoli and the sauce with that burnt fried rice and that half-drinking yoo-hoo, or that stale carbonated beverage.
Not yoo-hoo.
They're not even offering a good meal, a delightful meal.
Right.
Nothing hot. It's all cold. You see the little icicles hanging off of it. I can't deal. I'm angry.
Clearly. Oh, okay. All right. So Coach said one of our very vocal and new students here on Dayton University says, "How much? What are your do's and don'ts? Cool. How much? That's not a conversation. Not in my world. How is it not a conversation?
Let's define conversation.
How is it?
I just want to maybe I don't know the definition. I just want to make sure that I understand what a conversation.
I don't know, but I don't know how I failed to see how
conversation definition: a talk, especially an informal one between two or more people in which news and ideas are exchanged. That's a conversation.
What are your do's and don'ts? Cool. Response. How much?
That's part of the it's kind of like when you want to hire somebody to, let's say, host a party for you. They're going to ask you how much, your do's and don'ts. That's a conversation. So how come when it comes to sex workers, that's in its own separate entity and it's not counted as a profession?
It's the taboo of it all.
That's wild to me.
And it's always the idea of like, well, again, I don't know why. I don't know what it is. When is more of a demerit on a guy's perspective. It's a demerit. If I can put it to you that way, I feel it's a demerit. It's more like I said.
No, Charles, I'm not making these faces at you, but I'm just
I
know. I'm thinking out loud.
Right.
It's demeriting to be upfront with someone, consent with someone on what is going to happen in that sense.
It's not even with the sex worker. It's everybody else outside of that.
No, but I'm talking about that.
Okay.
You have two consenting adults that are agreeing upon a fair exchange of one thing for another.
Mm-hmm.
They're okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
It works for them.
See,
let me finish. But they're okay with somebody frauding, committing fraud, going on a date, trying to coerce somebody into a consensual act where there really is not consent from the other person, but you coerce them into it out of guilt and obligation. That's not looked at as demeriting. Confused. Help me figure that out.
I'm with you.
Help me figure that one out.
Hey, yo, you're giving me real sex worker vibes, yo. You're giving me real sex worker vibes.
Man. I'm just saying, people.
Like, I love you, homie. Like, I do. But just by your comments, like, I'm glad I never had the need and never will. Da da da. Like,
okay, good for you. Good for you. But there are people that are being honest with themselves, saying, "Look, I want a good, and I want some services, and I'm willing to pay for it." My thing is, I respect that person over these other men and women out here that are going on these dates knowingly withholding the truth of their true intentions to get something that is not agreed upon by both parties. If you go into this saying, I'm going to pay for this, I want sex, whether it's a man or a woman, I'm going into this and I want sex. Sex is consensual between two people. You're already determining in your mind that sex is going to happen, and that other person has no idea. So how can they consent to something they know nothing about? I can't respect someone that does that. I respect the one that pays for it over the one that plays for it. I'm not doing that.
Yeah. But again, like we are stuck in this. We're stuck in this way of dealing with things, right? Like you have your quote unquote normal way of doing things, and then you have your fringe outside, not really socially norm accepted kind of thing, which we're talking about tonight. You know what I'm saying? So everybody, well, most people, I don't want to say everybody, but most people want to be accepted as quote unquote normal, right? They want to feel that they are in common with everyone else. And then their predilections are giving something way different, but they're sitting behind this mask knowing damn well all I want to do is not have to deal with another person's heart, another person's mind, another person's expectations of me, another set of insecurities that may come up because of someone doesn't like the way my body is shaped, the way my mind works, the way I talk, the way how much money I make, what's my profession, all these other things. They want to just kind of just walk away from, like, get out of that, get to what they need, and go on by their day.
I mean, Charles, let's look at some figures. I was reading online, there was an escort service, and this woman in 4 hours cleared a check for $16,000. $16,000, and this was from 2018. $16,000
for 4 hours.
Somebody's paying.
Somebody paying. Like, that's the long and short of it. Because if nobody was paying, this wouldn't be a thing.
Right. And here's the thing. From her perspective, she was not into relationships. She did not want a relationship. So she would be the one that goes on these dates with all of these men and expects money from them. She may not even be the remotely interested, but will spend your money. So for her to save hundreds of men from spending frivolous money on someone that's not interested, she entered into a profession where she could make the most bang for her buck and not have to like anybody. She made her lack of emotional investment work for her. I'm still a sexual person. I still want the physical, but I don't want the emotional that comes with it. So I am going to seek those that need my goods and services, and I will do that. There's nothing wrong with that.
And say, though, I get you, homie. Like, your comment, bruh, it happens. It without a doubt, it happens. People are attracted to other people who are attractive, and sex happens, right? It happens. That happens. That's okay. That's fantastic. That is so fantastic. Because the one that's on the screen right now. So it said, being upfront is me going to a lady in the street saying, "Hi, how are you? My name is, I think you're attractive, and would you like to get, and would like to get to know you intimately." Nowhere in that does money need to be exchanged.
Okay. That's very idealistic. Not saying
if it works,
not saying it's impossible.
Not saying it's impossible. If it works for you, fam,
right? Yo, if it's happened,
keep rocking out. Like, keep rocking out. Like, I ain't gonna hold you. But there are others who may just don't want to even have to do that. And these are the people that we're talking about.
These are the people.
We're not talking about the ones who are like, or who are like, alpha males or alpha females and can boldly go and just approach somebody, and they know they look good, so it's kind of easier for them to get to the minds, get into the what did you call it, the coercion?
Yeah,
that's easy. That's fine.
Yeah. That's fine. We're not here. Let's be real. We're not here preaching to decriminalize sex workers. We're not. We're not taking a political stance on this, but we're trying to expand your thinking and open your mind to realize what you may think you crave and desire is something else. So instead of wasting someone's time and expecting to get physical satisfaction from that, you may have to go a different route or change your mode of dating. So if you say, you know what, sex workers aren't for me, I'm going to still try the old-fashioned way, that's going to require communication on your part then. So things that you haven't been saying up front, you may have to start saying that stuff up front. Hey, we're going on a date. What's the payment arrangement? Be open. If she says, I'd be more comfortable if you paid, hey, can we talk about some expectations that come with me paying for your bill? A good date for me would be, you showing up. That's a given. Please show up. Us having chemistry, us having good conversation, us having a connection. And when that bill comes and I swipe, I'm trying to swipe some other things too. I want to have sex at the end of the night.
I want to tip, George. I want to tip.
Yeah. What's your? That's fine. BET cut. What is your take on sex on the first date? What's your take on sex after we meet up? Is that something that you are comfortable with or not? And allow that woman to say how she feels, or allow that man to say how he feels, and respect their truth. You don't have to coerce them into doing anything they don't want to do. Who wants to have sex with someone that doesn't equally want to have sex with you?
Yeah,
I don't want to get sex that way.
Yeah, that's some rapey vibe shit. That's some rapey vibe.
That's not fulfilling for me. Like if that were to happen and I coerce someone, and the only reason why they had sex with me is because I told them, hey, I pay for your date, so I think I deserve a little
low-key begged and low-key, manipulated them and
exactly
and gaslit them and and guilt tripped them all into doing
that's
it.
Like this guilt trip. That's it.
Oh, like that shit is lame. That right there, now that part pisses me off. Brandy is awesome.
I love the way you think, Brandy. Brandy, I love the way you think. And you know what kills me is that he has access to resources to get what he wants. He has all of his groupies at his disposal.
But he want to be out here being messy. Like he want out here to be messy.
Right. You want to be in a relationship so bad.
You want to go out here with a loaded gun, shoot up every club he can probably get his hands on, and then be mad at the consequences.
But that's the thing. He's not hiring a sex worker. He's just paying for it with these groupies. There's a difference. With the sex workers comes a level of professionalism.
Absolutely. 100%.
Protection is required unless it's talked about.
Discretion, baby.
Testing is required. Like a lot of things are done on the front end and the back end that is professional and business minded that Tristan wasn't even thinking about. He just seeing is she a woman? Woman.
Right.
Her. With those, there is no discretion. There's no non-disclosure agreement. Like there's nothing set in place. So he got what was coming to him.
Right.
Insane, y'all. We're just trying to shift your mode of thinking. Like if this is not working for you, consider this. That's all. If 2 + 5 is not equaling 7 for you, then you may have to try a different thing. If you want a 7 and you're a 2 and you keep going out with 8s, 25s, 1000s, and you're looking for that 5, you may have to try a different approach. That's all we're saying for tonight. It will save a lot of heartache.
Yeah.
It will save a lot of confusion if you just consider and open up your mind.
Right. I'm not telling you go out here and
No.
pull up on, Charles Street or Garrison or
I don't know where you can go, but we're not saying that.
I'm not telling you to do this, but we're just saying if you are in a situation where you feel like you do not want to be responsible for the emotional responsibilities of another human being, there are options.
There are options, plenty of them.
You do not have to go out and, like Brittany said, commit fraud, coercion,
Seriously.
manipulation, lying, stealing, expectations without communication. You don't have to do you don't have to. You don't have to. Leave those people alone because someone is looking for them.
Yeah. And here's
Someone
the thing.
is looking for them. And you are in the way.
Woo! I have to say this. This is going to be another topic, but I have to introduce it right here.
Okay, go ahead.
A woman's respectability when she has sex on the first date. Let's talk about that. Let's scratch the surface on that. Because I have spoken to several men that have said that they do not prefer to settle down with a woman that has sex on the first date because she is quote unquote loose, or she is quote unquote for the streets. So do you see where there's some confusion on women's parts and what to do with their body when they hear, let's get it in one ear, and then if we get it in, I'm not going to respect you or be in a relationship with you? When she's coming to that said date wanting a relationship, what is she supposed to do? It's like she's damned if she did and damned if she didn't with you. So like Charles said, get out of the way. Get out of the way. Seriously.
You beta male motherfuckers get on my nerves.
No, I just had to add that piece. I just had to add that piece.
And I'm adding my piece. You beta male motherfuckers.
I had to add that piece.
My nerves.
Because to hear men say that, but in the same breath complain about her wanting to wait, is just confusing on every level possible.
And I'll probably get some flack for this, but you know what? I don't even care. For those men who feel that way and just confusing the shit out of women because you want them to be a hoe, but you don't want them to be a hoe. Go fuck your mother.
Excuse me?
Because that's what you want, right? You want to have sex with your mommy. I get it. You go ahead and do that because the way you are treating women, you don't give them no space to do nothing. You don't give them the space to be sexually free. You don't give them the space to be emotionally free. You don't give them the space to be financially free. You don't give them the space to be human fucking beings. You want to have all these stipulations on all these women, but you ain't got shit to
well, on that note, we try to keep our class to an hour, and we've gone over just a little bit due to my technical difficulties. But tonight's conversation was definitely enlightening and one for the books. Our goal, again, we're not here to take a political stance on sex workers. We're not here to do that. We're just here to expand your mind and to give you insight into what your actions could be perceived as. And that may change your way of dating, and it may change your overall approach. We're just here to deliver a message, and we did just that. Charles, do you have any final thoughts?
Nah, man, I'm good.
Because whoa, my my
Because
final
that shit, yo, because no, for real, like that part triggers the shit out of me, yo. Like it
Ooh.
really does. Like how you want these women to be, like how you want them to be. How do you want them to be?
Yeah.
How?
My final thought.
How?
I know.
How do
I
you want
know.
these women to be?
I know. My final thought. Um. My final
Oh,
thought. My final thought. To men, to women. Um. Money doesn't equal guarantees or entitlements when you go on these dates with people. It does not. And it's an unfair and it's an unrealistic expectation that could lead to heartache and lead to someone going down a deep, dark path. And I need you to reconsider if your intentions are not pure. If you are in a headspace where you are just sex crazed, but you know that that other person on the other end of that table is seeking a deep emotional, spiritual, mental, and physical connection with someone, you're unequally yoked already. And that is going to create chaos and a messy situation. All I'm asking is that you do the right thing. Match yourself with equal, with somebody that is on your equal. If you cannot find said person on that equal, you may have to go a different route and consider doing something else. You may have to monetarily and financially invest. Anthony, take the comment down. He
I
is
had to, yo.
he take the comment down. That's all. Just please do the right thing. And there is nothing wrong with any decision that you make as long as you're happy and the other person is happy and there is a mutual benefit and nobody is left in the dark. Nobody is coerced or forced into doing anything that they do not want to do or they did not sign up for. I am very, very serious when I say that. I have reached a point of frustration. I'm having PTSD just thinking about it, knowing that I came with pure intentions and somebody tried to sully my purity pond. That's not fair. You don't realize the impact that your 2 minutes of pleasure may have on that other person. That could be years long trauma. That could be days, weeks, months, years. That trauma could even go into their new relationship, and those remnants may get off and rub off onto a perfectly, purely intentional person. You don't realize that. And I wish people would stop thinking so narrow mindedly and so short term mindedly and thought about the long term ramifications and impacts that it had on these people. We're all here to serve a greater purpose. You don't realize that what you're doing is taking away from that person's purpose. Introducing self-doubt, introducing self-hatred, introducing, self-loathing. Because when things go south, who's the first person that you think about? Yourself. What did I do wrong to deserve this? You never initially think his loss, her loss. You don't. It's what did I do? Maybe I'm not good enough. And I wish people thought about that when they did the things that they did or do the things that they do. So I'm asking to change your mode of thinking. Think about others. Granted, people say think of self, make sure self is happy, but in the process of making yourself happy, it should not be to the detriment of others. So if you want to get your dingling wet, ladies, if you want to get your pockets fat and you want to get your kitty stroked, find somebody that matches your same energy and be upfront with that. There is somebody out here that will want you. It may take more work than you may like to put in, but guess what? All good things come to those who wait. I waited. I went through some toads, some Shreks, some ghouls, some goblins, and I was frustrated as hell. But I had to wait. And I don't care about the stigma of being over 35 and married. I don't care because I'm happy because my energy that I wanted matches what I have married. And you know who's in my inbox? The people that had the ill intentions.
Mm. Mm.
We'll have another show on that. Online infidelity. We'll have another show on that. So that's my final thought. It was a little long-winded. Yeah, it was a little long-winded. Charles.
No, you good. You good.
Okay, Wusa. Today was a great show. Thank you all for tuning in to Dating University. I am your host, Professor Brittany, my handsome host to my left or to my right, whatever way that is.
Somewhere.
Somewhere.
Follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, follow us, follow our own personal business pages.
Yes.
You got to change your thing to the @ and then the thing.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Okay. We'll figure it out. We'll get that.
At Professor Brittany _DU. You found me. I'll make sure I have it ready for next show. Be on the lookout, y'all. So we're starting something new. We're not going to tell you what the next show is going to be about. Tune into the page for Teaser Tuesday. On Teaser Tuesday, we're going to tell you what the show is. It's kind of like a save the date. It's kind of like us giving you an early sneak peek into class and our curriculum. So be on the lookout for Teaser Tuesday.
Yes, be on the lookout for new merch coming very, very soon. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited for.
I'm excited too.
For this new line that's about to drop.
Yes.
I'm very excited. I've been putting a lot of hard work on it.
Yes.
So be on the lookout for that. Please continue to like, comment, share. Just, we are making leaps and bounds, man. But yes, please. Yes. Get the merch. Link is right there scrolling on your bottom of your screen, going over there, and you'll see it come back. Let's see. We had too many other new announcements. Just we're now into I don't know what season this is for the show. Like this long damn time. I don't know. But for the podcast, this is season 3.
Okay.
So I'm excited about that.
This season is gonna be the one that I think will get us.
This will get us banned.
Get us banned. One or the other.
Yeah.
But we do have to go there. We are looking forward to hosting with a plethora of you that have reached out to us saying we want to be on the show. Have a good friend, Eric, that actually wants to fly up here to be on the show. He's in Georgia, but I'm like, you want to fly up to be on our show?
Okay. I'll do it.
Emilio.
My birthday month is coming up. Yay!
Yes.
Shout out to February. So look out for a sale because it's my birthday. So
remember we went to City View for your birthday?
Yes, pre-pandemic.
I would love to do like
we was wild. We was wilding in.
I would love to do like something smaller.
Okay.
We'll talk offline.
Okay. I'm here for it. Yeah, so
that's all I have.
We was wilding, yo. We was like right at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like we didn't know what it was. Like we just knew some people in China were sick. But
life was great.
A lifetime ago. Anyway, y'all have a good one. We love y'all.
Good night. We'll see y'all this time next week. We went a little over, but we promised that we will not make this a habit. But we had to with the technical difficulties earlier. I'm gonna get this service provider. Charles, thanks again for your patience. To my students, our daters, thank you for your willingness to stay in class. Professor Charles is one of the best professors out there. He held it down in the midst of my technical difficulties. So that shows that we are a cohesive unit and we work well together and we do the darn thing. So, okay, we got it out. Got my thanks out.
Later.
Peace, everybody. Bye.